Hi, it's Kathy again, and I'm here with Betty, who is the Director of Life Enrichment here at Waterford on the South Hill. And I've been so impressed this week with all the activities they have and just the excitement, I guess, that's going around the community of all the different things that they do. And I know a lot of that stems from Betty and her organization and the activities that she develops, and I would just love to have you share with me a little bit about your passion for what you do and how you go about developing this program.
Well, first of all, I think we should look at the mission statement. Our mission statement is to enrich people's lives. And so every day when I walk in the door, that's what I try to tell myself. I'm here to enrich their lives and make sure that they have a meaningful day, and that it is full of life, and that they have a calendar of activities with choices. Sometimes the residents say to me, there's too many things and some things overlap, and I tell them, you've had choices all your life. This is just carrying on what you've always been, making decisions about what you want to do and what you want to become involved in. So that, I think, is extremely important. Also, when we look at our calendar each month, we try to work, well, sometimes 2 months ahead, but I try to make sure that the components of wellness are met. And there's numerous components of wellness, and we try to make sure we have all those covered. For an example, exercise, lifelong learning, intergenerational activities are really important, and the residents love those. Celebration of personal things, celebration internally in the building, like, for an example, birthdays are always very important, or anniversaries. In fact, we have a big celebration coming up September 29th.
Oh, really? What's that all about?
Well, we're looking at our 20th anniversary for Waterford at the Touchmark Corporation, and we're planning a big event. We've got a band hired, and we have a lot of numerous things that are coming in, carriage rides, for an example, around the circle. It should be a really fun day, and we've been working on it for about a month and a half now.
That's fabulous. Now, did I hear something about somebody's birthdays?
Oh yes, in September we have 2 residents that are going to be turning 100.
Wow.
And so we're going to recognize them that evening also. So it should be really fun.
That sounds like an amazing party. I might have to stop by.
Absolutely. You're more than
Nothing
welcome.
like asking for an invitation.
We'll make sure you're on the list.
Well, one of the things also I notice is that it seems while I'm here that the community of folks who live here are really involved. Now, is that something that you foster? There's something to do with the residents and your policies of how you want the residents involved? And
well, when they move in, there's always a transition period, but as soon as we can get them involved and making friends, that's extremely important for them, because they'll be more comfortable and they'll start feeling like this is their home, which is what I really want them to feel. There's a lot of committees that they could join, whatever their interests are. You know, when they move in, when I think about it, they come to us with all kinds of skills and things that they've done in their life and interests that they've got, but they need to be able to tap into those skills again. So sometimes it's leadership skills. So then they're great for taking on a chairmanship for a committee of something that they might be interested, or possibly even president or vice president or treasurer or secretary of the council.
now, tell me about the council.
The council is voted on. They vote on the council members every year, and they take a strong leadership in our community, and they are kind of over all the committees, and we have our executive committee meetings once a month, and then we have our resident meetings after that once a month also. And it's an opportunity for them to help me with the program, and because we look at it as a resident-driven program. So if I have a group of residents that want to play bridge, let's say for an example, then I'm making sure that we are accommodating them. Or they're wanting to go on overnight trips, then I work really hard to make sure that that happens and we go to someplace of interest for them. But other times you may have somebody that, like let's say you have a historical trip planned, but nobody's really interested in it. So that tells me that I need to change my program up.
Sure. Sure.
And change it according to the residents' desires. So I try to really stay in touch with the residents and what their wants are.
Isn't that kind of how the patio by the dining room evolved? So the residents all wanted to have some flowers and that sort of thing, and it's just kind of evolved because they have a true interest in that.
Right.
It's a beautiful area out there.
It really is. Yes, what it started out with, it was a lovely patio, but it was a very large slab of cement. And there were shrubbery around the around the edge and some flowers, but they would look out at that patio and they could see potential. And so it kind of started the first year. We decided to plant 4 trees and cut out cement and plant trees, and we formed a garden committee and club. And then the next year we decided to do the rose garden, and then the next year we did the gladiola garden, and it's just grown.
It's beautiful out there.
And now we have the raised gardens too, and they're growing tomatoes and herbs and
it's lovely.
Flowers. It really is.
Before we close, I just wanted to share and make sure I mention this, that one of the things that you shared with me one day when we were talking was that you felt like you get these folks at the best time in their life.
Well,
and I was really touched by that.
Well, thank you. You'd have to be around them, but many times when they move in, and once they get settled in, I discover all kinds of things about them and learn so much from them myself. And many times they share things with me that I would have never known. Sometimes they are able to experience something in the activities that are planned that they have never been able to do, but because we planned this activity, they had a chance to do this.
It's wonderful.
Whether it's writing classes or whether it's gardening. I shared with you about the lady who never had planted a plant in her life because she lived in New York City.
And now she has.
And now she has. She has tomatoes, she has herbs, and she's using her basil in her cooking in her apartment. And she's just having so much fun. And a gentleman, not too long ago, we did a historical tour of the city of Spokane. And really it was set up for people that move in from outside of Spokane and don't know anything about Spokane. But many of the residents will come anyway. And a gentleman that has lived in Spokane for 40 years got off the bus and he said, "Betty, I've lived here 40 years and I learned more in an hour and a half on this trip than I ever knew about Spokane."
And that is all about enriching their lives.
Exactly. And that's our mission statement and what we try to do every day.
And you do it. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. I really appreciate it.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.